Representative Eric Swalwell of California. You may have seen him on Tucker Carlson tonight, appearing to accuse President Trump of colluding with the Russians, of all people, but never bringing forth any evidence, and instead insisting that we take his word for it. However, when I think of Eric Swalwell, I think of this clip right here.
Oh my gosh, is that Congressman Swalwell?
That's all from Capitol Hill.
Congressman Swalwell. Why do you hate the First Amendment so much? There goes Congressman Swalwell. That's really his legal name.
Well, what do you know? Eric Swalwell of California and two other Democratic lawmakers, Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut and Senator Bob Menendez of New Jersey, have reintroduced a Journalist Protection Act that intends to designate certain attacks on those reporting the news as a federal crime. That's right, a special hate speech designation just for journalists. They've been waiting for this. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if they've been gearing towards this for a while. So here we have a press release that was posted to Swalwell's website, or his government page rather, on February 5th, 2018. In the second paragraph, he cites Trump's infamous CNN WWE gif that he retweeted. Let's go ahead and read into this. During his campaign and since taking office, President Trump has created a climate of extreme hostility to the press by describing mainstream media outlets as a stain on America, trying to take away our history and our heritage, and the enemy of the American people. Where's the lie? He tweeted a GIF video of himself body slamming a person with the CNN logo superimposed on that person's face, and retweeted a cartoon of a Trump train running over a person with a CNN logo as its head. Such antagonistic communications help encourage others to think, regardless of their views, that violence against people engaged in journalism is more acceptable. In April, the international organization Reporters Without Borders, wow, the ego on these people, lowered the United States ranking in its annual World Press Freedom Index, citing President Trump's rhetoric. Swalwell had this to say: President Trump's campaign and administration have created a toxic atmosphere. Toxic, guys. It's not just about labeling reports of his constant falsehoods as fake news. It's his casting of media personalities and outlets as anti-American targets and encouraging people to engage in violence. Last month, OSCE Weekly journalists said they were assaulted by demonstrators at a Make America Great Again rally in Huntington Beach, California. And in August, a reporter was punched in the face for filming anti-racism counter-protesters in Charlottesville. Of course, he's got to bring up Charlottesville. Here's really the meat of this press release. The Journalist Protection Act makes it a federal crime to intentionally cause bodily harm to a journalist affecting interstate or foreign commerce in the course of reporting or in a manner designed to intimidate him or her from news gathering for a media organization. It represents a clear statement that assaults against people engaged in reporting is unacceptable and helps ensure law enforcement is able to punish those who interfere with news gathering. Here's another bit from the press release. Dozens of physical attacks on journalists doing their jobs were documented by the U.S. Press Freedom Tracker in 2017, said Rick Blum, director of news media for Open Government. Dozens, folks, dozens. In a nation full of hundreds of millions of people. Online harassment of journalists has included death threats and threats of sexual and other physical violence. Taken together, it is clear that not only is the role of the news media in our democracy under attack, but the safety of individual journalists is threatened. It's a sad time to be a journalist, huh? The role of the news media is under attack, they say. It is time to reverse the course. Physical violence and intimidation should never get in the way of covering police, protesters, presidents, and other public matters. Such bravery. As you may have noted at the beginning of the press release, Swalwell brought up the CNN Trump WWE gift that was tweeted out, but neglected to mention the reaction from the news media as a result. He failed to bring up the fact that CNN contributors and hosts worked openly on Twitter looking to procure the personal information on a private individual. In fact, they did find the person from his Reddit account and contacted him, giving him an opportunity to apologize to them, with CNN reminding the user that they will drop his personal information if he makes any more memes about them.
Reddit user who created the GIF of, Donald Trump in the wrestling video and where he punches CNN. So the investigative team went back and found the guy who first created this. He took credit for it. And then here comes the remarkable part. He apologized. Mm-hmm. He apologized for having done this. He has also asked that we not reveal his name or whereabouts, and we at CNN are honoring that because he's apologized and he thinks that he would then be in danger and at risk if other people knew his name. We get it. We understand that. So I don't know. I just think that this is just a very interesting addendum to this whole story.
It was certainly not the outcome I would have thought once we tracked him down. Unless I'm mistaken, I saw quotes coming out of the White House over the weekend saying Donald Trump did not get this image from Reddit. So where did it come from?
So not only did a multi-million-dollar news corporation track down and harass and threaten and therefore blackmail a private citizen, something that is against journalistic code of conduct, but leave it to CNN to do something unethical. Not only did they do that, but they might not have even doxed the right person. Let that sink in. And on top of that, throughout this interview, Cuomo is none too pleased. It's almost like he thinks they should go a step further. He said, he only apologized after he was exposed. You're a news corporation. What are you doing exposing a Reddit user for making a meme? Just never forget that. CNN is the news corporation that tracked down and harassed a private citizen because he made a meme about something they didn't like. They didn't like being made fun of. And while it backfired, it blew up right in their face. Could have seen that coming. I should also bring up Covington Catholic and when the media ran waves and waves of articles and wall-to-wall media coverage of an obvious false narrative. It was so bad that many of these news outlets are facing lawsuits for hundreds of millions of dollars. It would take a while to explain all of that, and if you aren't familiar with it, I do have a video about it, and I'll leave a link in the description. The point is this, though. When the media targets and harasses people using their endless corporate resources, the government turns a blind eye. There is no accountability whatsoever, although the slow death of the reputation of journalism as a whole has likely led to the recent layoffs that has forced these bloggers to finally get a real job. However, whenever these self-important ego freaks are confronted with the tiniest bit of criticism, suddenly they crumble and use their influence in politics to get special rules put in place for them. They have been complaining about this nonsense for a while now, and here's a short compilation of an organization that defends journalists, showcasing their concern with the amount of feedback these bloggers receive on the internet. This next clip gives you a bit of a better idea of what type of people make up this organization.
I'm intimidated by something that's surreal, that's online, and yet it's done by real people who are doing this to make sure that I feel physically punished.
Maybe he's, like looking at me right now or going behind my back.
Elevator doors, it's opened and I saw that they are coming down. And that moment I said that it's over.
Ultimately, learned to protect myself with firearms so that when I went out in public, I would be able to protect myself.
Some of you must be wondering if these videos are real. Maybe they're a joke, but as far as I can tell, they are 100% serious and 100% real. These are the types of people who are demanding that the government step in to shield them from online criticism. That's really what all of this is about. Little did these cat ladies know that they aren't the victims of cyber violence, but rather clear cases of mental illness.